any of those manufacturers that you just mentioned, because it is in fact a converted milk float. And it's called Ernie, and it's the fastest steaming milk float in the West.
Yeah, it's sort of the exception proves the rule, isn't it, I suppose, isn't it? But yes, it's a wonderful thing. This is built by Rosemary Stephen Bush, and it's powered by a Merryweather V3 fire pump. So it's a milk float fire engine, I suppose, really. But
That's where it's milk.
well, you never know. I think we better go down that channel, John. And it's got a Suzuki gearbox, two-cylinder engine, slide valve, duplex engine, and it's a fantastic thing. And I know full well that the Rosary also has, or they also have in the family, an Austin 7. It's a little bit different because it's a steam-powered Austin 7, would you believe?
Yes, we've had that round here.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's number 20 is next in your programme. It says Lake in Trinidad on the side. The Lake in Trinidad bit comes from the fact that on the island of Trinidad they actually have a very large asphalt lake. It is large because all of the tar that you've had on the roads in this country and all over the place has come out of that lake over the last 100 odd years. They've only dropped it by about 18 inches. So they've got a special machine that digs the asphalt out. If it goes wrong, they have to take it apart and bring it to PDQ, because otherwise it will sink without trace.
Yeah, it's owned by the Saunders Collection. This it's built in 1928 at Bowden K3. Notice with solid wheels, of course, as well. Originally supplied to Bettles of Surrey, and later converted, John said, to a tar sprayer, working for Linnet and Trinidad Asphalt Company from Liverpool.
Did you find their number on this one somewhere? 15, right, next one's 15 in the programme, and this one actually has pneumatic tyres. Things are sort of improving slowly as we go along, and this one of course is fitted out as a timber tractor or a haulage wagon. You can haul timber out of the woodland or pull heavy loads with it. Of course you would have a large tree on the back down to the sawmill to be converted into planks.
Yeah, this is a very popular Bowden C-type. It's built in 1930, and as you say, for haulage. It's currently owned by the Davis family, and built in 1930.
Next one's number 2 in your programme. Don't expect them to come around in order, but they won't. Next, it's a Clayton, and as you can see, the driver doesn't get a vast amount of weather protection really, because sitting where you do to steer this thing, you're almost out in the wet, as it were.
Yes, Clayton Shuttleworth, of course, of local fame, on the arena here. Built in 1920, sold to Ireland actually, saved from a quarry in the early 1980s. Fully rebuilt and rallied in Ireland before being purchased by the present owners in 2009. We carried out further restoration.
Number 26 in the programme next, and it has an early form container on the back. Yes, they made them out of wood before they became the metal things that we have nowadays. So this is one of the typical sort of containers that you get on the back of a wagon. You unnex the strap to the side, you lift it off, put something else on, and you go.
Yeah, it's another unusual one. There's only 4 manned steam wagons left in existence. It's a 5-tonner, built in 1916, new to the Frampton family, as it says on the bonnet sides. And it does show the extent of the space on these vehicles taken up by the horizontal engine and cab. And if you look at this Simmons and Son body, the more of it is hanging over the back wheel than there is forward of the back wheel. So the payload on these vehicles is not over great.
Next one's a Foster, and it's silly to us, isn't it? Oh dear. Lots of brass polishing now going on here. I don't think they look like this when they were actually working on the road, but this is one of the Foster. Again, we've gone back to solid tyres again.
Yeah, I believe it's maybe the only one in existence as well. Foster's started in 1846 for doing flour milling of all things, and of course they're famous for their wagons and also for their tanks in World War I. This particular engine is 5-tonner, built in 1922, and it's a sole survivor of 60 wagons built by the Roofing Company.
Next one is number 28 in the programme. This is a Roby, another quite unusual one. You notice a lot of these, of course, with the other type engine are chain-driven, enormous drive chains underneath. And some years ago, somebody had one worn out, he wanted some chains, so he went to Reynolds, he said, I've got my steam engine, no, not this chain, blah blah blah. It's not, that's all right, we've got that, it's not.
Amazing, yes. Another rarity actually, there's only 3 Roby wagons in existence. 2 are rebuilds from earlier ones, which this is. So there's only one original completely left. It was built, this one was built in 1926 as an articulated tanker, and the engine and boiler were later used in a tandem steam roller. It was rebuilt as a Ridvidd wagon to the original Roby drawing by the present owner.
Number 13 next, and is in fact pulling behind the load it would have done when it was working, having pulled these logs out of a wood or whatever. It would load them up onto the timber tray, drove, wagon, whatever you want to call it, and whiz them off down to a sawmill.
Yes, it's a 6-ton wagon with a good deal more than 6 tons in tow. Built in 1925. Actually built as an experimental fast track and then reverted to a tractor in later days.
Number 25, a Hindley, not Hindley, Hindley, and this was found as a set of 4 wheels. The rest of it has been reconstructed from drawings and photographs and a lot of hard work and ingenuity.
Yes, it's remarkable what you can do when you find a couple of wheels in a hedge, isn't it? The original of this was built in 1905 and it's the only surviving wagon from this manufacturer, and driven by Mr. Harris and his mate Mr. Vincent.
There's just the 4 wheels there of the original, the rest of it is all quite new. Number 58 next to the programme, the Little Giant, all the way from Summer of Land.
Yeah, this is a Tasker, and again the only one known, 5-tonner, built in 1915. Supplied to W.J. King for road haulage, but laid up in the 1930s. And it was purchased back from the King family by Taskers, displayed in the company's museum. It eventually passed on to the present owners in 1972 and restored again, as you see now. And it's owned by Bedfordshire County Council and can often be seen in Milestones Museum. Not at the moment.
Nice bit of sign writing on this one. Number 30, there's front of our Sentinels here with a vertical boiler, engine underneath, and this one still driven by chains and solid tyres.
Yeah, this is one of the very early Sentinels, a standard Sentinel steam wagon. It's a 6-tonner, built in 1917. It was supplied new to Brown Bailey Steels of Sheffield and used by them right through to 1970. And he eventually went to the Bass Brewing Company for preservation, was kept at Bradford Museum, and then back at the Burton-on-Trent Museum. This is one of the Alley and McKellen engines built in Glasgow.
And the next one comes all the way from Ipswich originally by Lance and Susan Jeffrey. Nowadays, of course, we tend to think of them as a lawnmower company, which I think is a terrible downgrade, isn't it, really?
Another rarity, of course, John, as well, actually, around the Susan Jeffrey wagons. There are, it is the only one left. 5-tonner again, built in 1923. That's very, very smart. And they only built 34, so it wasn't a big market for them. It was supplied and used the Australian government for road repairs around Melbourne for about 10 years. And obviously eventually came back, it was sold on to King's Dairies for milk churn collection. Came back to the UK in 1999.
We still have this curious mix of chain drive and pneumatic tyres and other type engines, and this one is number 8 in the programme. Another one of the photos.
That's a C-type again, that's a popular C-type. London Pride, it's called. 6-tonner, 1928. Pneumatic tyres, as you say, chain driven. New to Fuller Smith & Turner at the Griffin Brewery in Chiswick. Of course, the Fuller's Brewery is still down that way, isn't it, I believe, in London. And in the 1940s, it passed to T.T. Fountains of Amersham, who took the wagon into preservation and purchased by the present owner's father in 1987.
Number 9 next, or 6 minutes like the trouble. No, it's number 9. Again, no one will show.
Yeah, it's another C-type, very similar bodywork as well. Regular visitor, this comes all the way down from Scotland actually, and great example of a general purpose C-type Foden wagon. Foden's of course from Sandbach, as most of you will know.
You don't need to know the number of the next one because the driver is perfectly capable of telling us all about it. It's very well covered engine, this one. Ended up being spotted by Henry Ford. He took it across to the Dearborn Museum over in America. and it appears still in its original livery, doesn't it, Mr. Martin?
Oh, thank you, John. Nice to be here at Old Warden again with you. We aren't doing our double act today as we normally do, but yeah, the little Foden's probably one of the last remaining ones in its original paintwork. 100 years old next year, so we've got to do a bit on this winter perhaps, or perhaps not, depending on how energetic I feel. But it's nice to be here, and I've got a trailer on today which is owned by another flour mill, W&H marriage at Chelmsford. They gave it to Barry Freeman, which irked me a little bit, but so I'm towing his trailer. But I have got one at home, and one day I'll have one done in my own colours. Nice to see you, John.
Strangely enough, the guy that is the musical director at the Civic Theatre who should be working on the show in a couple of weeks' time is actually the transport manager from W&H Marriage and Son. So it's a great sort of return of purpose, isn't it? Next one is a figment of imagination by all means. Have you got any information on this one at all, Dan?
Well, we know that it was built around a Leyland chassis from the 1970s and has a 1900 vertical steam launch engine inside it, which has a vertical boiler, of course. So it really is a figment of the imagination. I think it's got rather a delightful saying on the back, John. You can read it from there.
I can't forget around the back. It says, run on steam and don't go fast, so please sit your horn and gently pass.
There you are.
But aren't those Victorian vertical steam engines out the little launch is wonderful. They've done so beautifully.
Yes, absolutely. And what a thing going down there, perhaps overtaking you on the M25. You'd have quite a fit, wouldn't you?
I think it would take you on the M25, wouldn't it? Because usually you're not moving.
Not moving,
no. So next, number 11 in your programme. Again, on solids with big tank drive underneath.
Yeah, C-type again, and name Bodicea, this particular one, 6-tonner, built in 1930, and it was supplied new to May Gurney of Norwich, used for tar spraying. Worked with them until it was saved for preservation by that famous man, George Cushing of Thursford, and that was in 1962. The engine then actually moved on to Alan Bloom's of Bressingham, not far away of course, where it remained until acquired by the present owner earlier this year, and the present owner is Shuttleworth Collection.
Well, actually, was driving this next one, number 7 in the programme, out of it's up not too long ago, went to a little road and came back with another one in tow. Only the new one we got behind was the very last tractor unit that came out of the Foden Works, which of course on the Monday it changed its name to Man Diesels. And so we had the very last of the Fodens in this one from 1922 going around the arena together. We invited the lad and he said, come on, you can be part of the show.
Yes, and we've got, lovely, isn't it? New Key Steam beer as well there, very nice. And it's running on pneumatics, it's a 6-tonner C-type again, dated from 1926. It was supplied new to Devonish of Raleigh in Essex for general haulage work. And then was used on contract for the London North Eastern Railway, hauling from manure from the stations to the market gardens, would you believe. And ended up at Stupid's at Stevenage in 1927, where they bought it for £810.
Number 6, coming up next in your programme, Vincent Engineering from Petridge in Somerset. So it's been around a bit, this one.
Yeah, yes, it's again a C-type, the 1924 version, again on pneumatics, but slightly shorter body, as you can see. It's their works, the Foden Works number 11414. It was purchased by the present owner in a derelict condition, totally rebuilt into what you see today.
They do all have differentials on the rear axle, so you know when you go around towards one of the CFR, we actually see it, and the gear wheels on the bottom of the rear axle there. Next one's probably the prettiest wagon on the programme here. That's in use, number 59 in the programme. And those of you on the rig side, you can see a piston pushing around there on underneath the bodywork. So I've got another one this side as well, and they're working 90 degrees out of phase, as you do. It has wooden spoked wheels. Those wheels, incidentally, originally with the metal band down the outside, invented by the ancient Greeks to put on these chariots. They're not particularly good at counting money nowadays, but boy, they may have a good idea. It's a cracker.
They certainly lasted well, hasn't it? I guess it's a Yorkshire Steam Wagon. It's just a 2-tonner, built way back in 1905. They actually started building wagons in 1901. And it's a rather strange looking boiler with engine with a transverse boiler. The last wagon came off the line in 1937, and there are about 8 of them surviving. Several of those saved and restored by that man Tom Garley from Gisborne.
Let's have the next, and it's the Garrett steam wagon. Garrett's nowadays, strangely enough, working out of an airfield up in Cambridgeshire, repairing the big transport trains that they used to make things like this.
Indeed, and this is the undertype. You can see very easily in this particular vehicle the short cab, very little room taken up at the front, so we've got more for payload. And Garrett's built both undertype and overtype wagons, and we have one example of each here today. Garrett's, of course, from Leiston in Suffolk, and they have a wonderful museum there, the Long Shop Museum. It's well worth a visit.
Well, next one is 6. Garrett, Sentinel, and you can see from the steam coming up there by the chimney, the saying, the Sentinel with a feather in its cap, and we haven't got a number for it. It's a late entry, but there you are. It's got the undertype 4-cylinder stick-lightning engine underneath the chassis, drives all 4 wheels at the back, and that would be very, very fast. That's the sort of thing that would come screaming past you on the M1 quite easily, doing around 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is nice. It's one of a set of 3, John, isn't it, this one? Because they're all here, all 3 of Hazel's, in Hazel's livery. They have the 4-wheeler, the S4, the S6 you can see there, and also the one and only S8, which I've got a feeling we might be seeing here.
Number 29 next, the old man.
Yes, this is another very early Sentinel, one of the Ali McKellen built vehicles. The Old Man is not the name of the wagon as such, it's actually in reference to Edgar Shone. Those of you who used to travel down the A1 years and years ago may remember as you approach Mill Hill, often on your left-hand side you could see a Sentinel wagon parked up, or even a couple sometimes, and Edgar Shone saved a considerable number of wagons, so we're very, very grateful for him for doing that.
Next one, number 47 in your programme. It's called Nippy, and it's got the Lions T logo on the side. Just remember the old Lions corner shop, those who are very, very old will remember those. I looked inside, but there wasn't a Nippy inside, probably just as well, because you could have about 90 by now.
Well, true enough, that's right, yeah. One of the largest operators of Sentinels are Gay Lions. They had a fleet of 32 Sentinels at one stage. And this became actually their fleet number 3581. I don't know how that ties into 32 wagons, but still. It's supposed to have been used on trips of some 120 miles at a time from Greenford in Middlesex to Nottingham and back. And it was last licensed in 1933, which as it was built in 1929, means it only had 4 years of active life.
Interestingly, the drive from the front pair of rear wheels to the rear pair of rear wheels is by a separate chain. Now look at the how fast it's going around underneath.
That's another one saved by Edgar Shone, actually.
Another one without a number, and again it's a 6-wheeled Sentinel chain drive. We've got dual chain drives this time, so it's got a lay shaft in the middle. The differential will be on the lay shaft, and it's got the direct chain drive to the front pair of the rear wheels, and then another chain which drives the rear pair.
Yeah, it's a DG6, and it does worry me, this one. I don't like the sign on the side. Docks, piers, piles and groins. It sounds a bit painful.
Yeah, you have to sit up there, that wouldn't you?
But I suppose that's what you find in Aberdeen Harbour. There you go.
Yes. Next one, number 53 in the program, another one of the Sentinels. Getting a bit more modern here, we've got the 4-cylinder engine underneath, single-acting engine, with a shaft drive to the rear wheels, more like a modern lorry, looks very much like one, apart from it's got a chimney out the top, and of course an incredibly good cab heater in the winter.
It works very well. Yes, this is getting towards the end of steam wagon production, of course. In 1934 this one was built, Sentinel S4, supplied to Cowlay's Co-op, as you can see on the cab, and it was their Sentinel number 9032.
Another one here, number 49 in the program. Going back a bit, this is an earlier one. It's back on solid tyres again, chain drive.
Just going back to the Cowlay's wagon as it goes round, you can very easily see the wagon, the engine itself, underneath the chassis on that one. It's very, very visible. It's worth having a look at.
In actual fact, it's very much like the two-stroke diesel that they put in buses in the 1960s. No one would be too surprised if that diesel engine wasn't as direct.
The idea,
Yeah.
good well done, yeah. Number 49 is the DG6 again, Sentinel steam wagon named the Mole, and that dates from 1933. It's an 8-tonner, supplied new to W.J. King of Somerset, the three-way tipper. Purchased derelict in 1999 by the present owner and then totally rebuilt to see with the flat body that you can see. It usually travels to the events under its own steam, which I think is always rather nice.
That's like number 48 in your programme, another one of the Sentinels, one of the early ones. Back on solid cars again with the chain drive. Slightly different engine on the ones that are chain driven. It wasn't the flat bore, it was different design.
Yeah, this is a 12.5 tonne, although it's still got the same wheel arrangement. Built in 1930, a Sentinel DG6 again. Sold new to British Steel Piling Limited, and it was Britain's first mobile concrete mixer. That's what started it all. How about that?
I must have cleaned it up since, obviously. There's another one of the Sentinels here.
This is another one of Hazel's vehicles, I believe, the S4. Number 55 in your programme.
Indeed it is, yes.
New to Brown and Sons Timber Merchants of Chelmsford, and was supplied at the same time with a sister engine number 9075, the next one, both of which survive and are often seen together.
Curious to say about that, Tad's yard in Chelmsford, the head of the Blackwater Canal. And Chelmsford has the first inland gas works in the country because of that canal, because you could get the coal from Haybridge up through Chelmsford after it comes out from the north. Now we have something that's quite unusual, a superheated Garrett wagon, and they didn't do an awful lot of superheating because it does give you some lubrication problems because it tends to fry the oil a little bit, but this is one such.
Yes, you can remember the red liveried underfloor wagon that came out earlier. This compares with the Garrett you're seeing going around the arena at the moment, which is the over-type steam wagon. It's a 3-tonner built in 1912, and again the very long cab and engine is evident on that vehicle.
Next one's 44 in your programme with a typical load, the sort of thing it would be carrying. Suppose you can't get it all on the back, they put a trailer on the back, the engine probably won't even notice. But they have there, of course, also a monument to the art of the Cooper, because how on earth they used to make those staves by eye and then put the bands around, handle the bands around, the things of watertight. I never have been able to understand how to personally do that. But you have to make about, what was it, 8 or 10 of those barrels a day? You have to work hard.
Yeah, it's quite something. Quite a nice one for Sentinels to build this, because Morris's of Shrewsbury are in the same road as Sentinels were in those days, so it wasn't much of a problem to deliver it. This 6-tonner DG4, built in 1931, it actually went new to Fanners of Bootham in Liverpool.
27, Rosie, one of the timber tractors. One of the things that they used to do is put the winch underneath the floor at the back, and it made life difficult for people working because you crawl around the mud trying to get hold of the end of a hawser, but a lot of people then put another steam winch on top because it's much easier to get out.
Yeah, it's a Foden D-type, it's actually number 17 in the programme. It's number 13266 in Foden's work numbers. Supplied new to Hereford County Council before moving to a threshing contractor in Sussex, which stayed there until preservation. Currently owned by the Burberry family.
Number 4, another one of the oversight Foden.
So this is a colonial wagon, slightly different design. It's a 5-tonner, dates from 1913, supplied to Australia, and brought back by that guy Tom Varley up at Gisborne in the 1970s, and it returned to steam by him. And I remember seeing it up at his works at the time in the 1970s.
And this one has, number 36 of the programme, has settling, I think they're settling, there's all that stuff on there. Of course, this is before electric lighting became popular. The later ones did have electric lighting, and they also had high pressure air pumps on them because the garages in those days couldn't pump up lorry cars. It was just too much for the compressors they had in those days.
It's Super Sentinel platform wagon. It's 8-tonner, built in 1928. supplied new to Cambridge University and Town Gas Board, and worked with them until the 1950s, when it was actually withdrawn, but rebuilt, thank goodness, by the current owner over a 7-year period.
Number 38 is next. This is another one of the timber tractors, or we could use it for hauling heavy loads, that kind of thing. That sort of thing that Victorians would have come up with. Put 2 or 3 on the front of a whacking rake trailer, which would probably have the rudder section or something from the normal ship being taken to a shipyard. But that's the kind of thing they would be hauling stuff around with.
Yes, it's the same model, basic model as the one we've just seen actually, but it shows what a different configuration you can have with these vehicles. It's 5-tonner, built in 1924, as John says, built for hauling timber through to docks and things like that.
54, yeah. Number 54 next, from the Castle Brickworks. And of course, one thing you have to remember is, of course, that these engines weren't built in the mass production mode, they were built serially, a bit like Volvos. What we got for stores this week, I'll shut that on it then. But that is the way they were built. They were never really done as a mass production item.
Yeah, quite a startling livery this, isn't it? The Castle Fire Brick Company. It's a local wagon, owned by the Gray family, and it was built in 1937. And its normal load, its commercial life, was carrying 4,500 bricks every day. Safe for preservation, exhibited at events before standing out of use, but again it was saved and rebuilt in 2005 and 6.
Next up, 42 in the program, the this one slightly more modern, of course, one of the later ones, on pneumatic tyres, the flat 4 engine underneath, self-drive, and goes like a rocket.
As we just saw with the castle engine going around the corner. Yes, it's a Sentinel S4T, dates from 1933, supplied new to Harry Price of Dorley in Shropshire. It was used to deliver coal, ironically, to the Sentinel Wagon Works in Shrewsbury.
Number 12, Wagon Wagon, this one. It's displayed in the Mechanical Car Spraying and Grouting Company's logo. Of course, a steam wagon was ideal for spraying car because you could put a steam coil through in the car tank and keep it nice and liquid so you could spray it onto the road.
It's surprising how many car sprayers we've got around, isn't it? It shows how much road making was going on in those days when it suddenly discovered tarmac Adam. It's a foam C-type again, a 6-tonner, built in 1930, and originally supplied to Riding and Gillow.
This one is in the logo of the United Africa Company, number 33 in your programme. They used to have a whole fleet of these on Liverpool docks, and they're rated around 5 tons or so. They often carried 20, no problems at all. Again, if you can't get it on the back and stick a probe on the back, it won't notice. And there was a guy on the radio, on Radio 4, some years back. He's one of the original drivers of these wagons at Liverpool docks. And he said, well, it was dead simple. You loaded it up, you opened the throttle, and it was effortless power.
And you can see that as it goes around. It's absolutely superb. Very, very quiet. An 8-tonner with its trailer. Built in 1924. It actually worked with the United Africa Company until 1961. So they got their money's worth out of it.
Number 40 next. In Bullets from American in Buckinghamshire. Another one of the later ones with pneumatic tyres, a flat 4 engine, and the sharp drive.
Yes, this apparently was the first Sentinel built with the sharp drive, an SDD G4, and their first one with pneumatic tyres as well. It was quite a beast when they brought it out.
And if you look at the engine, it's actually slightly differently built to the later ones as well. This is obviously an experimental one.
Yeah, the Cat too, actually, yes. There's quite a lot of varieties in that one. Owned and driven by Mr. Willett.
39 coming up next. This one is being looked after by the apprentices of the Royal Navy, and a cracking job they're making of it as well. Number 39 in your programme, Super Sentinel, built in 1930. It's one of the early ones really, because it's still got the chain drive on it, although it has got pneumatic tyres. You get a curious mix sometimes.
Yeah, it's strange how that happened, because it's actually 1930 this was built, 6-tonner.
I think it went back to the works for
Reed, yeah, I think that happened quite often actually. When it went back into some sort of service or boiler work, I think they were changed, and we've seen the same today with Foden, some very old ones with pneumatics. Supplied new to Brown's at Ipswich for carting flour, before passing on to Lambert's in 1937 to cart gravel, so it had a varied life.
Number 57, it's an interloper, it's a diesel engine lorry, but it was made by Sentinel, so they did make an attempt on modernising and getting up to date with internal combustion engines, or external combustion engines, whichever way you want to put it, and this is one such here.
Yes, and this would make or break companies, of course. This business was the realisation that the internal combustion engine was the only way to go forward. Those that didn't go into it, unfortunately, in the main went bust. Those that carried on at least had a chance of success, some more so than others. And Foden, of course, is the obvious example of huge success.
And that engine under there actually is nothing like the four-cylinder single-acting steam engine, but it must have derived from it.
Oh, indeed. It's actually got a Gardner engine in this one.
Oh, there you go, see? It's nothing like it.
No. Built in 1955, owned by the Moss family.
35 next. Car 11, Yorkshire, Bedfordshire, 1928, still solid tyres, 10 drive.
Yep, Super Sentinel again, a 6-tonner. As you say, built in 1928. Spent most of its working life at the Brown Bailey Steelworks in Sheffield, and it was the only Super Sentinel they operated.
You want to move anything, because this thing here will do it for you without any problems whatsoever, and I won't get in the way of it either, because it's one of those machines, it's just going to go. Doesn't matter what you attach it to, it's going to fit the thing.
It's a Central PG timber tractor. Again, timber was a huge industry in those days, and many vehicles were built for the haulage of that, not only for the haulage of the logs, but of course the winching of them out of the forest as well. And this is a typical vehicle of that sort. Built in 1934, new to Wootton and Sons of Cannock, and it was acquired by the current owners in 2006.
And you look at the size of the winch under there, there's not a lot that's going to not move when you decide to get...
No, it's actually got a separate engine to drive the winch, it's so powerful.
Oh yeah, enormous. So full boiler power onto the winch, and all things are going to...
Of course, the winch is very handy. If the vehicle itself got stuck, you find a nearby tree and just attach it and basically pull yourself out.
Got the tree up, yeah. 19 next, that is a Gloucester here. Foam overtight.
Yes, this was supplied new to Murch of Umberley in Devon in 1933. It's a D-type timber tractor again, the same sort of duties as the Sentinel we've just looked at. The engine then went to J. Vines of Gloucester, which was used for delivering coal and threshing, which is a rather nice combination because it can deliver the coal through the winter and do the threshing in the summer, which gave it its full 12 months' work. Rather nice.
Next one, number 15, the program, another one of our heavy movers, an enormous steam winch on the back, again with a separate engine, so no argument with that. If you decide you're going to move something, you'll move.
Yes, and it's actually called appropriately Brutus, so there we are. One of those engines that was at the Bressingham Steam Museum for a long time. All their steam engines, they've probably got a dozen or so up there, are named with the letter B as the first letter of the name. And this particular one was originally supplied to Yonder Hill Sawmill. Sounds rather nice.
It does, doesn't it? But you wouldn't want to argue with that steam engine. You have to remember, of course, that the steam engine, there's no revving and cut slipping and all that sort of thing you get with diesel engines. Oh no. You just put the thing in gear, open the throttle, and you get maximum power at 0 rev, which is the wonderful thing about a steam engine. You don't have to build up the power, it's already there. You've created it in the boiler, all you have to do is use it. Next one's number 34 in the programme, another one from the Liverpool docks, another those engines with the effortless power of the man sitting on the radio. And they often, as we said, have about 20 tons on the back of these and we'll have a dockyard with it.
Yeah, this again was built in 1924, Super Sentinel, platform wagon. One of the very last ones to work in Liverpool for the United Africa Company. The interesting, the engine was actually part exchanged at the end of its life for a Bedford TK. That's no contest, is it really? In the early 60s, that was by the Crawley family. And in 1999, the Wagon completed the John O'Groats to Land's End journey for its second time, previously having done it in 1976. So it's been around, That appears to conclude our steam wagon parade. There are many more steam wagons on site today, so if you've enjoyed looking at them going around the arena, I'm sure you'll enjoy looking at others. Have a chat to the drivers and their mates. They will be delighted to tell you more about them. And now it's 2 o'clock. Have we got anything flying today, John? Well, it's not 2 o'clock, I beg your pardon, it's 1:30.
It's 1:30. Yes, they won't be yet, will they?
No, indeed.
No. I was hoping we'd get the S8 in the arena this afternoon because I did actually have the opportunity and did fire it from Chelmsford to Ongar. We were going down the old A414. Somebody was following us. He said, "Well, you touched 69 twice coming on the road there, no trouble at all." And it wasn't. I mean, did you think this flew? It was amazing.